Check 1, 2. That would be wise. That would be. This thing is ridiculous.
What?
It's just so big.
I hear that a lot.
I know. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah.
Say and you see.
Let's just wait just a second. I think Roy's grabbing food real quick. Are you about to start?
Yeah, we need to start right now.
No, it worked. Check 1, 2.
Okay. All right, you guys, you want to come up here? Are you gonna? Are you from there? Great. You guys want to? We wanted to welcome you to Sinai Temple. We feel so incredibly blessed to have such a beautiful group of people join us today for our annual Holocaust survivor brunch. I wanted to make sure to thank our incredible committee who every year since we started about 13 years ago have remained on this committee, providing special food and all different things for our Holocaust survivors. And I wanted to thank Elaine Seltzer, our teacher of Holocaust Survivor Studies. And we're going to start with the national anthem for Israel, Hatikva, the Hope. If you're able to stand, please do. The Israeli flag is over here.
Kolot balevav benima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfatei mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia. Olo avda tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam choshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Liotam choshi be'artzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
I wanted to welcome, thank you, Mr. Fingerhut, our musical director at Sinai Temple. I wanted to welcome our co-senior rabbis, Rabbi Erez Sherman and Rabbi Nicole Guzik.
Good morning, everyone. It's really hard to believe that this is our bar mitzvah anniversary of doing this incredible event, this wonderful program. And this morning I was just thinking to myself that we often call the Jewish people the people of the book. Why? Because the Torah sustains us generation to generation. But I was thinking this morning that perhaps we're called the people of the book, not just because we have this incredible document holding our people for thousands and thousands of years, but I realize we're the people of the book because we feel an obligation to tell each other's stories. And so if you will, when we look at our survivors today, they each hold a story that needs to be told. And it's our obligation to make sure, we often say that each person is a book, that we open up that book, we read that person's story, and then if we consider ourselves the people of the book, then it's your obligation to carry on that story for your children and their children and far into the future. So I hope you'll hold that chiyuv, I hope you'll hold that obligation deep within your soul. That's who we are, the people of the book. May we each have the opportunity to learn each other's stories this morning. Thank you for being here.
This is always a highlight for all of the Sinai Temple clergy as we join together as a community And as Rabbi Guzik said about the people of the book and telling the story this morning when we were bringing our children over, our 8-year-old began asking questions about what was the Holocaust? How long did it last? And I watched him pique his interest and telling him that we were about to hear these stories. When the Jews left slavery from Egypt, it says, Binurenu vizkunenu nelech, that they didn't just go by themselves, but they went with the young and the old. And this moment that we see every single year filled with beautiful music is a moment of Lador Vador from generation to generation. I remember my first teacher who taught me the Aleph Bet was a Holocaust survivor from Romania, Mrs. Shafran. And as I stand here, I think about the stories she told me and the wisdom that she transmitted to me and to my classmates, and knowing that I now have the responsibility as well to transmit your stories, to transmit our stories with our young and with our old. We shall go towards another day of redemption. Thank you so much for being here.
We are very fortunate this morning to have a 9-year-old, not Mr. Fingerhead, he's a little older than 9, play piano while you're eating and relaxing. So please tell me your Lauren. Lauren is going to be playing for us in a little bit, so please enjoy your lunch. We're going to say hamotzi. Also, if you've already started to eat, that's okay, but if not, we'll say it together. The Hebrew words together with you is a blessing in itself. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tevon. I always get clapping when people eat. It's good. Yes. Ready? Okay, and Lauren's going to come up and play so you can listen to him as well.
gonna have a panel discussion. We need the thing pulled up or whatever. Okay? So.
Not here yet, but
Well, no, she wants me.
okay. Please use this mic.
Oh, sure. Oh, hi. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to see you all again this year. I'm Elaine Seltzer, and I spoke to many of you on the phone or sent you emails or haunted you down at Cafe Europa or wherever I found you. And I'm so glad to see all of you. Fortunately, it's not raining today, but a couple of our people that were planning on coming couldn't come because they called in sick at the last minute, but we are planning, and we're going to do a panel discussion, and we're going to have a few of the survivors come up and tell us a little bit about their story, not the whole story, maybe like a 5-minute segment. I know you can't stuff everything in 5 minutes, but, and some words to young people that we could pass along. So if I could have the survivors who are on the panel discussion come up, Susan Reto, Joe Alexander, Paul Kester, and Vivian Nathan. If you could come up, you can come up this way and take a seat. Thank you. The rest of you can keep eating silently. Okay, just sit anywhere, pick a chair. You can come this way or this way. Thanks. I can also give them my mic too, right, Chris?
You should keep that if you're the panel holder.
Sort of. Okay, Whitney, where's Whitney? Oh, okay. Can you sit that high or should we get a different chair for you? Yeah? You look so handsome today.
Thank you.
Who picked out that suit?
What?
There's the best dresser in town here. So he's got a different pin on. So when you get a chance, check out the pin. It's always something important. Let's see what he's got on today. It's always a challenge. I'm holding. Got it. One is a flag of Israel and America, which he wears, I think, all the time. And the other one is 100 years, what is this?
Reagan's Library.
Reagan's Library.
Reagan's Library.
Yeah, he's always, yeah. Okay, so Whitney, will you join us, please? And Whitney's going to be joining us for questions about the Wisdom Project at the museum. And maybe, Whitney, if you could just introduce yourself briefly.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney, and I work at the Holocaust Museum of LA. I'm currently working on the Holocaust Survivor Wisdom Project, which is a project to gather wisdom from our precious survivors. And I see some familiar faces here and in the crowd, and I'm very excited to be here. So thank you.
Okay. So we'll start with Joe Alexander. I'm just going to tell you a quickie how I know Joe. Joe and my father met in Auschwitz, if you can understand that. And they remained friends their entire life until my dad passed away, of course. So Joe's kind of more like an uncle to me, but go ahead. You can start.
Yeah, and also I met your mother.
He wants me to throw in that he met my mother too. My parents,
In
yes.
the camp. I met your mother in the camp.
Yeah, those were rascals in there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead, you tell us a little bit about your experience. A very short version. I know you just did an interview, and we just
version.
very short.
Well, the short version is, I survived 12 camps. It was Auschwitz, Birkenau, Dachau, and many other ones. So I survived, and I'm here in the States. I'm very busy. I've been very busy. I get calls from all over the country, even outside the country. Matter of fact, tonight I'm supposed to go to New Hope.
It goes in and out. Yes?
Yep.
Okay, that's all right, that's better, I guess. Anyway, so they keep me busy all the time. You know, I speak to the Holocaust Museum LA. I speak to public schools, private schools, everybody. I get calls every day from all over the country. I just got a call a couple of days ago from Florida. They want me to come to Florida. So that's what my life is now. I just keep them busy, talking, I talk to as many people I can talk to. I went to Washington State. I went to South Dakota. I went to Pennsylvania, Northern California. So that's my life today, is trying to talk as many people I can get to let them know my history, what I went through. And also, I speak to a lot of public schools where I was told that 70% of those kids never heard about the Holocaust. So this is very important for us to talk to those kids, to let them know what happened, what we went through. So that's my job today.
Thank you so much, Joe. And Vivian, if you could share a little bit about yourself. Oh, you want to have everyone? Okay. Okay. Well, Joe, thank you so much for sharing that. With all things considered, can you share with everyone what your happiest memory in life is?
What you happy?
Your happiest memory.
Happy memories. My happiest memories is right here when I chose to see my kids. I have a daughter and a son and a grandson. So that's my happiness today.
It's beautiful. And do you have any advice for people who are, looking for happiness? What can you tell them about the search for happiness? What can you tell people about how they can find happiness in their own life?
Well, the kids, well, they're, they're happy to see me. They're happy to hear from me. You know, at 101, it's not so.
Family
It's
is
it's not that easy to get around with me, but I'm still driving too.
key. So staying busy and being around family. Well, thank you so much, Joe. Okay, Vivian, let's get to know you. If you could share with everyone about yourself.
And I was born in France. My mother and father were German.
This microphone's not working.
My mother and father were German, and my mother's family escaped or left Germany in the early part of the 1930s, but for some reason, she didn't go with them. She was a teenager at the time. My guess is that maybe they only had visas for 4 people, and her 2 brothers and her parents went to Israel. So my mother was stuck in Germany, and they had something called a hashara for young people, teenagers mostly, waiting to go to Israel. And this was in Germany. And one time, my mother and father, who weren't married at the time, went for a walk. And when they came back to the hashara, everybody had been picked up by the Gestapo. So they figured they've got to get out of there. So they left. My father was trying to go to England. He stowed away on a ship, and the ship broke down in Belgium, and he wound up in Belgium. Then he sent for my mother, and then the Germans invaded Belgium and France, and the Belgians were running away from France. And I was born when my mother ran from Belgium to France. So 2 years later, they started picking up Jews in Belgium. And we had heard that there was an informer in the apartment that we lived in. And so my mother was out looking for another apartment. And my father and my uncle were home. And the Nazis came and picked us up, put us in a deportation camp in Belgium called Malines or Mechlin. I'll make this brief. I spent 2 years with my father in this deportation camp, where every week they were sending transports to Auschwitz. And we were extremely lucky. And I think one of the reasons was that my uncle and my father were workers in the camp. They were both cooks, and they cooked for the commanders and for everybody else. 2 years later, in 1944, we were liberated by the Allies. My mother was in hiding the whole time. She dyed her hair blonde so she wouldn't look Jewish. And fortunately, we were reunited in 1944.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. With all of that being said, do you have a piece of advice or a life lesson that you would want to share with everyone here, given your experience?
Well, I haven't thought about this, but in terms of advice, is to get involved in different organizations, be kind to everyone, treat everybody the same, and get involved in Jewish organizations. It's especially important now with so many Jews marrying out of the religion. It's really important to get involved and to tell your stories.
Thank you so much. I cannot agree more. And here we have Suzanne. If you could share some stuff about yourself and your story.
Thank you so much for having me here. And before I go on, I must thank and commend Rabbi Sherman for making that comment that he already had approached, or his 8-year-old approached him for questions. This is one of the biggest questions I'm asked: how early should you start? And my answer is always, as early as you can on their level. And that's the key to whatever we can do as survivors, because education is the key to our future peaceful existence. And I truly believe that we can never, I don't want to be Pollyanna, we can never eliminate anti-Semitism, but hopefully we can mitigate it. And so just to tell you, I'm probably a little different from the rest of them. I'm a child survivor. I was born 6 days before the Nazi invasion of Hungary. And in those days, mothers were in the hospital for about a week. So my mother was still there. And when she finally learned on that wretched Sunday that the Nazis came in, and the nurse finally told her that not only the Nazis invaded Hungary, but they also established their headquarters on the grounds of the hospital. Well, you can imagine, my mother was alone. My father had already been conscripted into the Hungarian, somewhat Nazi-controlled military, so she was staying at her parents' for the last few weeks of her pregnancy. So she was alone, and she wondered, when she learned all these horrible things, how will we ever get home to her parents, and if so, how? And I always tell, especially young people today, that no matter how terrible things were and how much of a sea of horror we lived through, there were always decent people who came to our rescue and came to our help, and tried to implore upon the young people to do the same, and never to look negative, but always look to the positive and look for a hopeful future. Well, my mother's doctor walked in as she was pondering what's going to happen, and he was an amazing humanitarian who knew my mother's story, that her husband wasn't there, and he said, I ordered an ambulance for you to go home, and in addition, I ordered a sign for it, infectious disease. Well, you can all imagine, we had an eventless, not too eventful ride to my grandparents, and we arrived. And that was my first attempt at survival at age 7 days. So you know survival is a very key and a big word in my life. And I had another incident 6 months later, and I don't want to take much time, but my theory is education, information, and to be prepared to handle the bullies. And if we try to teach the kids starting in middle school or even earlier, we can't wait till it's college time, because that's much too late. And we need to prepare the youngsters so that when they are faced with bullies, they can stand up to them, they can tell them, and hopefully the bullies can learn, not too many, but some can be convinced. And that's really our only hope. And especially that there are less and less of us, having firsthand information from us can make it a little bit more important or meaningful to the youngsters. And I do this very, very frequently through schools and the Holocaust Museum. And I have to be very honest with you that it's not only non-Jewish kids, but the Jewish kids need more education as well. So it's our job to do that for everybody. And thank you, Sinai Temple, and Rabbi Guzik and Rabbi Sherman. You're always at the forefront. And I do this for the Sinai Akiva Academy as well. And you are one of the leaders in educating the youngsters. And that's really our only hope. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. That was a beautiful sentiment, and again, I could not agree more with you. Maybe, because I know you covered a lot of grounds in that short period of time, but if you were to give a blessing to the next generation, what would your blessing be in, one sentence?
Be informed, get educated, and learn the facts. Facts always remain the same, and they're our best defense.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And lastly, we have Paul Kester. Paul, can you share about yourself?
Old as a gentleman down. I'm only 98 years old. So, but to tell you my story just in a couple of minutes, I was born in Germany. I had a happy childhood until November 1938, when the government organized pogrom, destroyed what Jewish lives still existed at that time. I was fortunate 2 months later to be on a train to Sweden. Sweden took 500 children under its kinder transport program. I lived in Sweden for 10 years. I was lucky, it was a neutral country. I could stay in contact with my family where we wrote letters for the first 3 years. Then they were sent to Theresienstadt, and 5 months later, my letters came back that they had left Theresienstadt. Later, I found out they were on a transport of 2,000 Jews sent straight to Auschwitz and were murdered upon arrival. My life continued in Sweden for 10 years. In 1948, I decided to make a change. I came to this country, to Los Angeles. I have lived here for 75 years. My wife and I were able to create for ourselves a normal life again. And at this stage, I make it a point to speak whenever I can. As a matter of fact, if you want to hear more about my life, you can come to the Museum of Tolerance at 1 o'clock today and hear all about it. Whenever I speak, and I do it at both the Holocaust Museum and the Museum of Tolerance and at other venues, I never end my project, my speech, my report, without asking the youngsters, the students, be they Jewish or non-Jewish, not to hate, to fight intolerance, anti-Semitism, and to try to create a better life using the opportunities they have here, a better life in the 21st century than what we here on this podium experienced during the first half of the 20th century. I welcome the opportunity to speak here at Sinai Temple, and I thank you for your presence and for listening.
Thank you so much, Paul. Your parents made a huge sacrifice by saving you and your sister and allowing you to go on the kinder transport. And I see what appears to be parents and their children. I'm curious if your parents could have seen the life that you made for yourself. What do you think your parents would say? And, you know, would they miss you? Would they be proud of you? What do you think they would say?
I think they would be satisfied with the decisions I made, with the life I led. I always felt myself lucky that I was one of the 15,000 children saved through the kinder transport program, that I was not one of the 1.5 million children who were murdered. I was once asked when I spoke, do I feel guilty being a survivor to be one of the 1% that made it. And I had to think for a moment, and I said, I never felt guilty, but I always felt an obligation to lead a life that where I followed a suggestion that my mother wrote to me when I was a teenager in Sweden, which can be summarized by saying, be good and do good.
Thank you so much. Elaine, if you would like to take it over. Yeah, are there any questions in the audience for our lovely panelist? Anyone? No dumb questions here. Any question's a good question. Don't be shy. Yes. Here, I'll come down there.
So you've lived with anti-Semitism all your life, and now that it's repeating again and much more stronger, or getting stronger, how do you feel today in this present about anti-Semitism going around?
Very aware and very alert what's going on. And my main theme is educate the people early so that they can be informed enough to stand up. Anti-Semitism is very infectious. Sometimes people who join groups don't even know what they're joining. They're just joining because their friends are there. But the important thing is to be strong enough to stand up and speak the truth. And hopefully, we can convince them. And one of the other things that I find very, very important is in this world of disinformation and misinformation is to tell about the virtues of Israel, what Israel has contributed to the world, all the scientific, musical, and all the accomplishments that enrich all of our lives. And it isn't for Jews. This is a Judeo-Christian country, and we all benefit. And Israel is the only, I know this may not be the right thing to say, but Israel is the only country that accepts and welcomes LGBTQ people, whereas the people here riot and they say, from the river to the sea, do they really know what they're talking about? Do they know who they're putting down? And if you ask them, they usually have no answer. And part of that is educating, and educating from the positive. Educating people to tell them how much we have accomplished, how much we've contributed to the well-being of the world, and maybe they will like us rather than hate us.
I'm repeating what you said, but I found it disappointing. And the new wave of anti-Semitism, that it's not limited just to some ignorant or...
Could you repeat that? Thank you so much.
That the present anti-Semitism is not limited only to some ignorant or confused individual, but that I find it at all levels of society, and especially among our intellectual elite, among faculty and students at our best universities. And I welcome those who speak and try to change this. I spoke at the Holocaust Museum and I said, yes, by bringing in students here, by letting us tell them hate is destructive, they should fight for tolerance. I just can only say, we can only hope that the museums, the synagogues, and everybody else will promote education, not just among our Jewish people, but the population, the general population.
Are there any other questions? I do have a woman over here who wanted to introduce herself. Her name is Frida Berger, and she was a survivor of Auschwitz. Frida, would you like to say anything? Would you like to say something?
Yes, I speak 8 languages.
She speaks 8 languages.
I want to welcome everybody. My name is Frida Berger, born in Romania in 1925. And I am happy to be here in my golden country. God bless America. I didn't know that I'm gonna see so many nice people with survivors because I helped. We were 32,000 women in 1943. Until 45, I was working in the factory shoveling bullets. And I never smoked, I never drank. I went through the First World War. We were liberated in 1945 in Germany. I thank God I have a sister, she's 102 in Beverly Hills with a married daughter, with 2 buildings. I am here in Los Angeles, and I was all over the world. To speak 8 languages, you cannot be stupid. But if I'm not drinking and not smoking, and I'm the best cook and baker in LA, Antonio Villagrosa, the mayor, about 10 years ago, I helped in the election. After the elections with 2 women, he came to my house in Los Angeles. After the dinner, he said, Frida Berger, you are the best cook and baker in LA. And that is for me a pleasure. We should only have peace in the world, and we should continue to help each other in good health. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful sentiment, and I think Frida has covered it very well, that the survivors that are here today and that spoke to us have made such beautiful lives for themselves, and that is such a beautiful success. And never forget 6 million people, and these are our legacies of the Jewish community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, panelists. That was great. We love to hear all the stories, as we've heard before here, that, that's the only way we can keep our stories alive, by keep retelling them and make us strong and educated and so forth. Are you ready with the second graders? Second graders? Third graders are coming to entertain us, so I hope you're ready for that. Get a little dessert, sit back, and enjoy the show.
Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom b'mroma. Join us, let's hear your voices.
שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
What's next?
And at this time, we invite everyone, as we are saying and singing our prayer of hope, our song of hope, Hatikva, we invite everyone to please rise with us as we sing Hatikva. We're gonna face this way. Turn around, face. If you wanna face it. Ready? Here we go. Am Israel chai, Am Israel chai, Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel chai, Am Israel chai, Am Israel chai, Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel. Oh, Davinu chai, let's hear you. Oh, Davinu, oh, Davinu, oh, Davinu chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu chai. Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. Oh Davinu, oh Davinu, oh Davinu 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 chai.
Hello, there we go. Switch it up. There we go. It was so beautiful to have our young people from our Sinai Temple Religious School with us. Oh, Danielle, more or no? Beautiful. Where are we going to do that? In the back? Okay, we're going to, Danielle, is it concluding part or no? Beautiful. To conclude our program this morning, first we want to thank everybody for coming and for our leadership of Danielle Casson. Beautiful. Mia, where's Mia? There we go. Mia is going to play for us a piece that she composed, and then we're going to conclude our program with simcha, with joy. Hopefully you saw within our physical building at Sinai the joy that we bring each and every day, and the wisdom that you have brought up this morning as well. So Mia is going to play for us. And then also, for all of our survivors that have joined us, we have lots of wonderful food. We want to make sure that it doesn't go to waste. We want to make sure that you get to enjoy that also. So please take food as you go as well. We're going to have me on the piano, and then we're going to join and dance as well.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Should I do that on the piano? Should I do that sitting down? Okay. When? Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Mia Einichi, and today I'll be performing a song I composed about the Holocaust. There are words that we don't want to say, so wounds don't get unsealed. We don't like to think about it. It makes our hearts bleed. After it's out, we don't know how it'll be healed. It really makes you think how that was a reality. But it makes us stronger. We'll stand a little taller, 'cause in the end we survive the worst part of life. And I know sometimes things get rough when there's nothing good yet to come. If the world's worries fall like a flood, just know that things will look up. And it makes us stronger. We'll all stand a little taller, 'cause through the pain we'll all stay strong and unafraid. Strong and unafraid.
We want to thank Mia. The piece that she composed, I was told, right, Mia? After you met Holocaust survivors last year, you wrote and composed this piece. And so to see the inspiration that comes from your wisdom into our next generation is exactly what this morning is about. Thank you so much, Mia. We're going to conclude with a hora. If you feel the urge to get up and dance, we'll join together. Are you going to help lead that part? Danielle's going to help lead us. We're going to begin with a song of joy of Hava Nagila. Adults and children and friends, please join us together in a moment of simcha. Here we go. Ready? Hava nagila hava, nagila hava, nagila venismecha hava, nagila hava, nagila hava, nagila venismecha hava niranena, hava niranena, hava niranena venismecha hava niranena, hava niranena, hava niranena venismecha yalala uru. Uru achim, urachim, alev sameach, rachim, alev sameach, urachim, alev sameach, rachim, alev sameach, urachim, urachim, alev sameach. Hava, nagila hava, nagila hava, nagila venismecha. Hava, nagila hava, nagila hava, nagila venismecha. Hava, niranena, hava niranena, hava niranena venismecha. Hava niranena, hava niranena, hava niranena venismecha. David melech Yisrael chai chai vekayam. 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 Say not, say not, say not, say not. Hamanot tirena chayalim b'moshava. Alna, 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 alna didcha ben abi bencha yelit shava. Say not, say not. Hamanot tirena chayalim b'moshava. Alna, alna, alna didcha ben abi bencha yelit shava. Say not, 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 say not. Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai, Am Yisrael chai. On Avinu, on Avinu, on Avinu chai. On Avinu, on Avinu, on Avinu chai. On Avinu, on Avinu, on Avinu chai. On Avinu chai. On Avinu, on Avinu, on Avinu chai. On Avinu, on Avinu, on Avinu chai. On Avinu, on Avinu, on Avinu chai. On Avinu chai. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Yehelanu, yehelanu. Ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu. Ulecho Yisrael, David Melech Yisrael, Chai vekayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai vekayam. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Bashana habaa neshev el hamirpeset v'nismor tziporim nodedot. Yeladim bechusha yisachatu tofeset ben habayit leven hasadot. Together. Otire kama tovi hiye. Bashana habaa. Otire kama tovi hiye. Bashana habaa. ba'a. Ya la la, ya la la, la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Last time, Otire, here we go. Otire, Otire, Kamatobi, Bashana, Bashana, Ba'a. Otire, Otire, Kamatobi, Bashana, Bashana, Ba'a. Otire, 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 Kamatobi, Bashana, Bashana, Ba'a. Otire, Otire, Kamatobi, Bashana, Bashana, Abaha. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for being here at our Survivors Breakfast. Back to Elaine.
Before you all leave, can I ask you to come up to do a group photo? We'd love to do one up here. If you can just walk over here, we'll take a group photo of all the survivors and your guests. We'd love to see you in our photo, please. Thank you, everybody. If you could just, before you leave, come up here, honor with your presence. By the way, mazel tov to all of you who are centurions. I know we have about 3 centurions here today. Either they're 100 or they're, I think, gender is 101, I believe. And yes, Miss Mannheim is 103. And where is she? Berger. Frida Berger is going to be 100, I think, in a couple months. That counts. Good enough. Come. And that's amazing. Talk about perseverance. Either sit down or you can stand up with your walker, whatever works for you. Okay. Okay, if you can drag yourself away for conversations. I know you're all having too much fun. Can you guys help us with a group photo? Come to do the group photo, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Yes, sir. Susan. Yeah, he's talking. Joe, come take a picture. She was in the blue. I don't know. Suzanne, my friend. I don't think she left. Oh, Suzanne Raito. I think I don't see her now. She may have left. She left early. Did you need to talk to her? Okay, I'll give you her number, okay? All right, everybody that's still here, if you can join us for a group photo. Huh? We could put the kids in the back. I mean, if they're still around. You know, everybody's sort of dispersed. Fran.
Hi, I need all the students and parents in the picture too. So please come on in the picture, please, students. Even the children, they're our future. Wow. Yes. And like Elaine said, you are 103 years old. You're 103? 103. Can I ask your age? How old are you? 97. 97, 103. Unbelievable. Joe, how old?
101.
101 years old. All right.
And I was liberated at age 8 in Bergen-Belsen.
18, she was liberated. 7 years old today, or right now. Do you want to say your age? Your age. Yes. She was born in 1925. Does anybody? On April 24th, she's going to be 100 years old. And her sister's 102, and they helped save a lot of lives. Unbelievable. Wow. No honey, no money, but she's got some good stuff. Okay, we can have our committee members can be in the picture. People that have helped, please. I think this is our future. Come, everyone should be in this picture, please, please. Come on, in the picture, in the picture. Come on, in the picture. Let's do it. Yes, let's do it. Everyone, come on in. Yeah, come in the picture. We'll get as many people as we can. Together, this group's like over 1,000 years old. Say, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Woo! Woo! If you hadn't had a chance, students, please take a survivor and take a picture in the photo booth in the back. If you haven't had a chance to take a picture, please go with a survivor in the back and take a picture.
Thank you. Patience is a virtue. Correct. We got to pick up the Yiddish songs here. I can help you.
I used to do
My daughter learned nice now. She was like in preschool. She's like 4 years old. They got it.
And you finished with Benjamin, right? Did you connect with Benjamin?
Yeah,
Your favorite hut?
next to the fire.
Really?
Rent a fire.
Right. So I actually wrote it.
Okay. Okay.
I made an arrangement of it where I use a text used.
We're going to take pictures in the photo booth. If you haven't, students, please grab a survivor and take a picture. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I know. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Amazing. Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, okay. It was nice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was nice. It was so good to see you. I love it. Take care. Thank you. Thank you so much for your help.
I need students back here. We're going to take pictures with survivors. So I need students and survivors.
He translated it.
He wrote new verses to the tune.
Oh, he wrote new? Oh.
Yeah. By Mkento, Toya,
Oh.
Brenta. So,
You know what? I think I've heard it.
oh, yeah. I mean, it's not that obscure.
Oh,
you know, if you know that.
Jacob, come on
Let me
back.
write it. Let me take a picture.
Please.
Yeah.
Leslie?
Near the ghetto gate of fire to the dread sphere, students are coming from the workplace, from each face, sweat is pouring.
I need students. Who else do we? We got students. Nate, come on.
To this green coat,
Jonah, you're still a student.
yeah, and then he perished.
It's, I always say.
You want to hold your flag? That'd be cool.
They try to
No? Okay, come.
take our back. I mean, my parents fell in love in Auschwitz. I'm sure they met and they got married after the war. The one in the potato soup place and you don't hear those stories. So
Elaine,
much,
there's a
you know?
phone and a case on the stage if you want to make an announcement. Somebody left a phone.
This one is.
So we're going to give you one to take with us.
Seems to be a phone on the stage. I don't know, somebody left it there. Danielle's always leaving her phone around.
I got mine. Thank you, Elaine.
Oh,